In this tutorial, we're going to look at the No Sales Day Over Day report. This report is located under Advanced, then Items, then within this menu you will select No Sales Day Over Day. Some of the primary uses for this report include monitoring out of stocks, discover missed sales opportunities on a daily basis or during holiday weeks, and you can also track and monitor potentially underperforming departments. With this report, you are provided a list of items a store sold yesterday during a selected time frame, but has not yet sold during the same time frame today. When you land on this report, you will first want to choose a store or stores by selecting the drop-down menu. You can select one store or multiple stores at a time. The more stores you choose may impact performance a bit, as it will take longer for a larger amount of data to load. We will leave this report set to the first store we had selected. Like many other reports, you have an option to select supply chain hierarchy or store hierarchy. And just a reminder, the supply chain hierarchy represents the departments that SuperValu uses to categorize its items. And the store hierarchy represents the department number that these items were sold from out of the POS system. For this tutorial, we're going to leave this set to supply chain hierarchy. First, we will want to select a department. You do have the option to select all, or you can just select a single department. However, you can use the all option to determine the department within the store that is presenting the greatest missed sales opportunities. In our example, we can see there are several opportunities in the dairy department. One thing to note is that the default hours selection is set to 1 hour. This means the report is telling us items that sold yesterday in the last hour, but did not sell yet today in the last hour. Since it's about noon right now, we want to see if any items that sold yesterday in the last 12 hours, but have not sold yet today before noon. In order to do this, you'll want to set this last X hours menu option to be 12 hours. Now we have a much broader list with more items and more sales in it. The columns are interactive in that you can sort the information from greatest to least on sales and/or items. For this tutorial, we will take a look at sales. Here we can see that this Chobani fat-free plain vanilla yogurt sold 13 units on the previous day before noon, but has not sold any yet today. Based on yesterday's sales, this is a strong candidate for an out-of-stock. Someone should definitely go check this item on the shelf right away to see if it has product. You can also use other reports to discover if items are regularly out of stock in a department or if it's just a one-time occurrence. To do this, we can switch over to the No Sales Day Over Day report to get a more detailed look at the sales of this item. First, you'll want to select a store. Then next, you may want to pause this report so you can select a broader time frame. And last, you'll want to enter the UPC of the Chobani fat-free plain yogurt. Once the graph loads, you can quickly see in a little more than a month's time frame, this item has had missed sales several times. This is identified by looking at the last year's sales bar that don't have any current year sales information highlighted in blue. Another quick way to identify the current year's sales information with 0 sales is by sorting and filtering the sales column below in the data. You now have enough information to talk with people about watching this item and its stock level in the future. At any time, you can export this entire list to Excel for printing by selecting in the data area, then going up to Download, and selecting Crosstab. Depending on the computer you are using, the downloaded file might appear as a selectable option in your browser, or it may be pushed into the Downloads folder on your computer. Once you locate the file, select it, and if you have Microsoft Excel installed on your computer, it should open. Now, we can see an Excel version of the potential out-of-stock items for this day. This full list can now be printed and given to each department manager as an aid for the items in the store they should remain focused on throughout the day. And just to review, some of the primary uses for this report are to monitor out of stocks. This can be especially useful on a daily basis when heading into the evening time frame. You can also discover missed sales opportunities on a daily basis. Additionally, use other tools within SV Insights to discover if a daily problem is costing more sales during a greater time frame. And lastly, track and monitor potentially underperforming departments. When something is measured, it gets managed. These tools can bring much needed awareness to the departments so they can monitor daily sales of top selling items. At any time, if you have any questions about this report or any other reports, send an email to svinsights@supervalu.com.